Tank's the one that needs the health.
3, 2, 1.
Eagles will feast on your flesh.
Target you. Interrupt.
3, 2, 1.
Interrupt.
I hate no code.
Mood.
This
Same.
dungeon is stupid.
Same.
I will stomp on your grave.
But yeah, we're in that anxious stage where the interviews went really well, and now we're just waiting.
Target you.
Understandable.
3, 2, 1.
I cannot face my ancestors. Eagles will feast on your flesh.
We'll let you know how it goes, but this would actually give me the ability to maybe move down here.
Oh, really? Nice.
Target you.
Plus the ability for us to get a house at some point. Like, this is big.
Yeah.
Three, 2, 1.
Interrupt.
The first ancestors.
On our sacred ground?
This is what has become of our legacy.
Okay, tank. Why? They pulled one group and then like another pat came in. So it's essentially a triple pull.
Awesome, we love that. Oh my god, this is gonna suck.
Yes, it already is sucking. Oh, you gotta tell me what the reference photos you need of Padme.
Oh, yes.
Probably
let
just
me-
front, left, and right, I'm assuming.
You shall pay
Yeah, that'd
for
be
this
fine.
blasphemy with your lives.
And then,
Run.
We're mostly just
Yeah,
doing this from the
incoming.
3/4 though, aren't we?
yeah. Just from
So
like
then I
that.
also need a 3/4.
Okay.
Watch your step.
Oh my god, doing this on... Doing this on one monitor is going to suck.
Run. Fear incoming. Knocking back.
From him.
Watch your step. Run. Fear incoming.
Oh,
3,
God.
2, 1.
Watch your step.
I feel so cramped.
Why?
So I'm used to working off 3 monitors, 3 large monitors. I'm on 1 laptop screen right now.
Ouch.
Run. Fear incoming.
And I mean, to be fair, I keep one of them as almost
Knocking back.
exclusively Discord, so I
Watch
can
your
live
step.
without that. But
Yeah, but like monitors aren't that expensive. Like, just go get a cheap one, like $100, if even that.
but
Shit, you could go to freaking like, I mean, if it's just a temporary thing, just go to like the thrift store.
well, actually, we can get them for pretty cheap at Cast Connections, so
Yeah, there you go.
I have access to the Disney employee exclusive store.
How?
Jay's roommate works there.
Oh. Wait. You can go to. Wait, what? How? Like, or like, I know that the cast member store is like has a bunch of stuff, but I wouldn't. I guess monitors wasn't one of the things that I would think of.
Well, like when the parks need to get rid of old equipment, they'll usually give it as option to the staff
3,
first before just chucking it.
That's true.
1.
My friend had a she worked there. She bought a one of the chairs from the Grand Californian, which is one of the the hotels that they have. Really nice chair. She said it was $5. I'm like, Jesus, really?
Don't know if you can hear me there.
I bet.
Hello, how are you?
Matt says hi, how are you? He asked you a
Shockwave.
question, babe.
It's okay. He doesn't have to answer.
Nervously waiting for a letter
I don't know how much of that's coming through, Vet.
or an email.
He's waiting for a letter or an email.
Okay, so it's coming through, okay.
3, 2, 1.
Yep, that's where we're sitting. Anxiously. Okay, I'm gonna go fill our drinkies up, Vet. I may cut out, but we'll
Okay.
see what happens. Jay's got the bedroom furthest from the kitchen.
Must die. You will be trampled in slash and skewer.
Watch your step.
Not stand against me.
3, 2, 1.
Interrupt.
Oh, why did Shun die? How did he die? Oh, that was my fault, I guess.
Yeah. Big.
should be able to hear me again.
Yep.
Excellent. Here you go. Yeah, no, cast connections is pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah. I've been there once. I got a bunch of cool shit there.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sitting in a chair from Disney right now. We got it for like, what, $2 at cast connections?
Yeah, it's insane. I just wish Disney treated their employees just a little bit better. Like, you know, like actually
Wouldn't
in the
that be
park.
nice?
Huh?
Wouldn't that be nice? Last time I went, I saw a very pregnant woman having to stand in the heat as an employee. But I mean, the grocery prices at Cast Connections are pretty good too, so.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I just wish
And
them.
you know those,
Huh?
Starbucks cups with the, like, Disney exclusive Starbucks cups?
Yeah.
The ones that are all spiky.
Sure.
I guess they got, like, they're supposed to look like they have diamonds all over them, but mostly they're just pokey to hold. Yeah, so, like, someone
Watch your step.
in my city was using a cup similar to those, and I'm like, oh, that looks familiar. You know, I got to use one of those while I was in Florida. It was the 50th anniversary golden one. She's like, oh God, I would never use that. I would collect it. It would be on a shelf. And I'm just like sitting here not telling her that they just
3,
use them casually as
2,
regular cups.
1.
Like, I'm drinking water out of it right now.
Yeah. I had, oh God, I went to the Disneyland 50th anniversary. Friend of mine and I went, we did the 24-hour.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was
That's
fun.
a lot.
We couldn't get a, oh no! I couldn't get to the tank!
Oh,
3,
that could be rough.
2, 1.
You have no res.
I don't. Thankfully we have someone that can.
Are they?
They did, but why did Sean is
Run
dead
out.
again?
Run out.
Three, 2, 1.
Run out.
The tank is also not using a defensive when they should.
Valakar's weapon will be broken. He will not take a place of honor with the ancestor Khans.
Thankfully we killed it.
My thanks, outsider. Onara now
The final boss in No Cood.
Valakar's influence.
Freaking
No Cood.
the tank just their new tank, so
However,
huh?
yeah.
Newer tank. I'm
Fall
like
over.
yo, you need to use a defensive. Every
What are
tank
those?
buster.
Those buttons don't do anything.
Oh God, I used to be that way. I literally used to never use a defensive ever.
Yeah, I had to have a healer yell at me about it too.
No, I just meant in general. Period. Amen. In this game, I was just like, if I can't do it without defensives, then I don't need to do it.
Yeah, that doesn't work so well anymore, does it?
No, well, not with the stuff that I want to do. Speaking of which, they're nerfing the fuck out of blood DK. They're claiming.
Yeah, I heard they're doing the same to most tanks.
They're claiming it's not a nerf, but I'm like, you're literally taking away my blood shield.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is a nerf.
Mm-hmm.
There is much to be done. Farewell.
Well, no, and they're doing this to all the tanks, especially mine as well. They said they want the healers to the healers to have to do more work.
They already do a lot of fucking work.
Constantly trying to get the healers to do more work.
Sorry, what was that, Jay?
They're constantly trying to get the expansion to make the healers in a circle.
Truth.
I mean, personally, what they should do is they need to go to what the Guild Wars did.
What did Guild Wars do?
They made it so that healers, all of their healing was based on their damage. And it was how well you could do damage. You didn't do a lot of damage, but the more damage you did, the better off you healed. And I think they just need to do something like that for this game. Like, stop fucking making.
That would be nice.
Let the tanks have their freaking do the mitigation and stuff, and then healers just not pass. Like, I don't want them to just be like, okay, passive, go. Like, you still have to do like active healing, but if you do damage, you get something in return.
Mm-hmm.
And it would make healing. It would give the tanks the ability to, you know, like have that moment of like immortality, and then you can freaking, you know, back it up from there, whatever. I don't know, it just feels real bad to fucking sit there and go, well, we're gonna nerf you know, this way you've been playing DK. Well, guess what, you no longer fucking can do that.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it works out, though. According to Blizzard and their post about DK in general, hold on, where was it? Because I looked at the notes, and it's funny, the picture that WoW had used for the class tuning is a DK. Let's see. Yeah. Their whole thing. Death Strike is a powerful ability that allows Blood Death Knights to mitigate a percentage of any form of damage taken in the last 5 seconds. In a way, Death Strike works as like a retroactive shield block. Instead of reducing the damage up front, it mitigates the damage you took from a hit by healing you. If used in succession, Death Strike can affect a single hit multiple times, which would be comparable to blocking a hit, then going back in time, blocking it again, in some cases restoring yourself to a higher health than where you started. We are changing Death Strike to only heal the Death Knight for a percentage of the damage taken from a given damage event once. To make it scale more like other tank mitigation mechanics. I'm like, okay, you know, Death Strike was overpowered. You literally could, because it worked on like a 5-second rolling rotation, or rolling rolling time. So if you got hit for 5 million, you could Death Strike, get that 5 million back, and then Death Strike again within that 5-second rotation, or rolling time, and you could get you could heal yourself and get a blood shield stack for 5 million more, or you know, based on that 5 million damage, which is crazy. But then they go, oh, we're also nerfing Blood Shield. Blood Shield's cap is now at 50% of the Death Knight's maximum health was 100. So they're like, oh, well, now you can know. So I have like 2 million health or whatever. Now I only get a friggin' Blood Shield for 1 million.
Jeez.
So it used to be where I could take a hit for 200% of my health, which was fine. Now I can only take it for 100% of my health. No, I'm sorry, 150% of my health.
Yep. God, that's frustrating. This is also frustrating. Why is...
I mean, they did some other cool stuff, like Bone Storm is no longer just uses runic power, it uses your bone shield stacks. So it now bounces off of like 3 different synergies, or 2 other synergies. Yeah, 3. Right? So it bounces off of using the bone shield stack, so you get shattering bone. You also reduce the cooldown of your dancing rune weapon and like something else. So we'll see.
Oh, that's why.
We'll see when this comes out.
That's fine. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see how they handle it, but...
I'll be back. I gotta use the restroom. All right, folks, get up, get a drink, get a snack. More WoW after this. Stay tuned. All right, folks, I'm back. I'm back. My apologies.
Hey, no worries. Nature calls.
Nature calls, and then I was done, and I was like, man, I'm hungry, so I made myself some ramen.
Jay and I took a minute to have a look at real estate in Sacramento. Just to see what
Sacramento?
it's like. It's not the worst, actually. Considering how Cali has a reputation. I like looking at real estate, so.
Hmm. Oh boy.
What's up?
Someone came into my chat.
Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion of your channel viewers, followers, views, chatbots, etc. The price is lower than any competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Flexible and convenient order management panel, chat panel, everything is in your hands. A huge number of custom settings. Go to Streamrise. Fuck off.
Let's see how old this account is. It's about a year old.
No, they haven't gotten banned yet.
They're about to.
From your channel, at least.
Oh, they're gonna. Every time I report these things, because I report them. And every time I do, I get a message. We've actioned on your report.
Nice. I just block and move on. I didn't realize I could report.
Yep. You have to click on their name, and then there's a the 3 dots. There's a thing that gives you can either block the person or report them, and I report them and then block them.
Sounded like you had some opinions on Sacramento, no, Cheryl?
I mean, it's California. It's expensive as fuck.
Real estate doesn't look that bad, actually. It looks pretty comparable to out here.
Yeah, but then, yeah, that's true. Okay, why didn't this report work? So sometimes I report them for self-harm because they're harming themselves. This report won't work. I bet they're already freaking they're already done.
Nice. Like, what else are you, aside from real estate, what are you describing as expensive in Cali?
The cost
What do
of
I need to
living.
know?
Period. Amen. Cost of living. Cost of living, taxes, and like even just owning a vehicle. We have some of the highest what is that called? Like the tags for like the registration. We have the highest cost of registration. We have the most stringent or strict rules on smog. No.
Noted.
Like, if I didn't have family here, I probably wouldn't be back in California.
Where'd you head?
Huh?
Where would you head?
Texas. There's other reasons why I don't want to live in California. Gun laws are dumb.
Restrictive?
Yep.
Yeah, see, I see that as a benefit.
And yet we still have gun crime here in California. In fact, in the past 10 years, we've had one of the worst mass shooting massacres on record.
Awesome. And by that I mean not.
Evil people will do evil things. I would much rather be in a state in which I am not restricted heavily on what firearms I can and cannot use, or can and cannot have, if I'm going to use them to protect myself.
Aren't you restricted regardless due to VA stuff?
Yep. Also, dumb. Because of something that happened in my brain like 8 years ago, I'm still restricted because of the laws.
That sucks. I'm sorry, Vat. Damn, Houston has some really affordable housing.
I was thinking about when I was getting out of the army. I was actually talking to one of the guys that owned a hookah shop near Fort Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And like because I smoked hookah back in Texas, well, back when I was younger. I ended up talking to this guy, like making good friends with him, went to his shop all the time, talked to him, even helped out on occasion. Like he had to go do something in the back and he had a customer come in. So I was like, oh, what can I do for you? And so we were actually talking about like me taking part ownership and opening up there was a place right next to his that was like getting ready to sell. Or not sell, but move out. So he was like, dude, why don't you open a hookah, like a hookah cafe. He's like, and then we can partner up, knock out a wall, and then I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And so he and I were thinking about, like, I was gonna get a house with him.
Fell through, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're closer to your mom, though.
Exactly. That's the thing, is I was like, I'll be, far away from my family. So that's making sure.
My suspicion levels go up so high whenever I see Millennial Gray.
Millennial Gray?
You haven't heard of that? It's a design trend that's been going on since essentially the 2000s, where everything is fucking gray. And anytime you see it, if you're looking for real estate, Vat, anytime you see that, it's been house flipped. Which means it's been given a coat of paint, new flooring, and said, look, it's new. And that can oftentimes, house flippers do not actually care if the house is structurally sound.
No, they don't.
So if you see Millennial Gray on any house listing next time you're looking for a new place, make sure you get the extra fancy inspection, because Millennial Gray can sometimes cover a lot of problems. So whenever I see Millennial Gray, I get suspicious.
That's why anytime anybody goes, oh, I'm gonna flip, I think that's what my nephew said, he wanted to flip houses. He's like, that's what my friend's dad does. And I'm like, does he make money? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, guess what?
It ain't ethical.
I'm like, how much? Like, so there are people who actually flip houses and actually do a good job. Those are few and far between.
Yeah, most of them don't. Anytime I see Millennial Gray, my sus levels go way up. Like, I'm looking at one right now that actually has kind of that 70s vibe to it, probably because that's where the house was from. And I'm a whole lot less sus because I can see the age in the building. I can see that there is age here, but I'm also not seeing water damage. And I'm not worried about seeing water damage because I can see the ceiling hasn't been painted in too long. Which means they haven't painted over water damage. Like, yeah, it's got this the 70s, 80s wood veneer boards on all the walls.
So my house is covered in.
Yep.
70. My coach is a 76.
Like, here, I'll send you a picture of the this is the kitchen on this place I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like what
This place has not been updated since the 70s or the 80s, maybe. Which also tells me it's been kept up really, really well. Like, look at there's no cracks in the ceiling, there's no water damage anywhere. Even the linoleum's doing pretty well for its age.
Yep. And
Yeah,
that header on the cupboards.
Oh yeah.
My kitchen had this like gaudy freaking partly foil like fruits and vegetables in the green, orange, and yellow. So like bell peppers and stuff like that.
This place is actually in great condition considering its age. Oh, there's a big old crack. Something to look into. Sorry, carry on, vet.
All good.
I got distracted. I'm not looking at buying a house right now. I just like looking at real estate. It makes me happy.
God, I need to shave 2 seconds off.
I don't know why. It always has. I especially like to do so when I get stressed. And right now I'm a little anxious over this job thing for Jay.
Yeah. You know, right now, I don't know how the market looks for them, but when I first got out of the army, the thing I looked at were mobile homes.
Yeah.
Or manufactured homes.
Yeah, those kinds of things are definitely not off the list. Like, I think the current plan is if he gets this job, he stays with his roommates for a little while longer, moves me down in maybe a year-ish, and then we spend another year saving up, put down a down payment on a condo, and go from there. Condo, mobile home, something like that. It's gonna depend on what kind of insurance you can get for the place, though, because Florida's having some issues with that right now.
I've heard that because of the natural disasters that can happen.
So it's something to keep in mind for us. Gosh, the market in Texas is quite favorable.
That's why that's one of the reasons why I would go to Texas, because I'm like, I lived there. I know what it's like. I would not live anywhere near a military installation. Like, it would not be in Killeen. It wouldn't be in El Paso.
I'm just straight up staring at Houston just to see what happens. Just to see what, like, the capital has. Also, because that might be the only city I know in Texas.
Austin.
Oh yeah, that's a city in Texas.
Austin will be to your liking because of the culture. It's less Texan and more liberal.
Cheers to that.
There's an expression, keep Austin weird.
Yeah, that's that works for me.
It's very, like, I've been out to Austin. It's a good place. Like, when I say it's less Texan, it's less Texan. It's Texan, but it's less Texan. It's got a lot of, like, the liberal feel. It's probably why I like it, because it's more closer to California. Just with, you know, like, less of the stringent conservative feel.
Yeah, I've kind of had quite enough of that in Alberta, thank you.
I just don't like the I don't like the rules. I don't like the rules and the, like, I don't know. Hate to put it this way, the modesty that you have to have as a conservative.
Yep. That is something I dislike.
God, these challenge mode dragon races are hard.
My primary goal with real estate right now is just like a one story.
Yes.
I am a hobbit and I don't like stairs.
I wish I could drive that into my brother. My brother has multiple sclerosis, like I've said, and he keeps looking at multi-story homes. And I'm like,
why?
What are you doing?
I want it all spread out on one floor, thank you.
I mean, I understand, like, it's just gonna be him for a while. Like, because his son, something
Your nephew.
My nephew, yeah. Something went on with his, custody stuff. So his son is only with him on weekends, and, you know, like, he can't even stay the night. And so it's like he has a 3-bedroom, well, 2-bedroom, 1 office, 3-bath home or condo that he's renting. And he's like, oh, I was looking at these townhomes over on blah blah blah, and it's really cool. It's 3 stories. I'm like, you're an idiot. What are you doing?
That's terrible with MS.
Yeah, I'm like there's no going back. Like, you cannot reverse the the damage that it's been done. And
my aunt has MS, I understand.
And his oldest son just graduated high school and made a comment about, I might go talk to him if he's not in that stupid scooter. My brother has the mobility scooter. Yeah, made that fucking statement. I'm like, he's lucky I haven't seen that kid, because I'd punch him right in his fucking mouth for a statement like that.
He would have earned it. What the heckity?
I'm like, my brother's been there and done a lot of stuff for that kid. Sacrificed so much for that child. For him to fucking make a dumbass comment like that.
Yeah, that ain't on. That's not on at all. What the hell, child?
So after that, my brother stopped. So he has drop foot. I think it's drop foot syndrome, where his foot like just gives out sometimes.
My aunt as well.
Or his like ankle. So he has a brace for that. My brother stopped wearing his brace, stopped using his cane, and stopped using his mobility scooter.
Oh my god.
My brother doesn't walk, like he walks about as good as, it's hard to describe. When I was a kid, I think we had this discussion, like you saw someone walking weird and my first thought was mental illness, right? There was something up with their brain.
Sometimes that's just physical.
Yeah, so I'd never thought about it, but that's what he looks like. And I'm like, okay, so I understand the, you know, like I can understand my nephew being like, if I see him walking, you know, I don't want to be blah, 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 whatever. But I'm like, dude, my brother stopped using all of the things that made his, like, helped him.
All of his mobility aids, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's embarrassed. And I'm like, you need to not be embarrassed. Like, these are things that help you out. He's like, well, I'm just trying to get stronger. And I'm like, okay.
Not with MS.
I'm like, well, I understand. Like, he's a fighter. My aunt was the same way, apparently, before she was confined to a wheelchair. Like, tried to go out and live her life, you know, all in a couple of years before she was confined to, you know, confined to her wheelchair. I can still remember the story my mom told me. They went, my mom and her sister and my aunt went up to the mountains, because we live in California, and Southern California, the mountains are like, that's a trip, going up to the mountains. Well, they went up the mountains and drank, and then they were driving home drunk with my mom. Was it my mom? No, my aunt had, like, something was up with the windshield or something, so she had her head out of the fucking car driving down the mountain going like 50 miles an hour.
Oh my god.
And my mom, I think my mom puked out the passenger side.
Oh my god.
And I've done that. That's how I learned how to drive. My friend was like, had this boat of a car, and when my mom kicked me out of the house, I called my friend and I'm like, hey, my mom kicked me out. And so like she drove me up to the mountains and a couple of times, because I had a friend that was like, yeah, you can come stay up here with me and blah blah blah. And so she let me drive. So I learned how to drive going up and down the mountain.
Good learning tool.
Yeah, because I, you know how a lot of people will hug the right side of the lane?
Mm-hmm.
I hugged the left side of the lane because the right side was a cliff.
That sounds like me in New Zealand. Oh my god. My first time driving New Zealand, brand new car. Well, new to me car. I'm on what feels to me the wrong side of the car, driving on the wrong side of the road. And we picked up the car in New Plymouth and decided, instead of driving to Wellington and facing city driving with all of this new, we'd drive through the countryside a little and go visit Logan's dad. And Logan's dad lives up in Pahiatua, and at the time there was 2 options to get to Pahiatua from New Plymouth. You could take the gorge or the track. Now the track had multiple switchbacks, and they said, don't bother with that, it's got lots of switchbacks. It's not a nice road for that kind of thing. Go on the gorge. That when I tell you, this gorge is the most unsafe looking freaking modern road you can have. It is a road stapled onto the side of a fucking cliff, 50-foot drop beside it, into a little river on the bottom, just sharp rocks at the bottom, you know, all the fun things. And what is between the road, or the lane, and the edge of the road is not a shoulder. The line is painted essentially right on the edge. And not a, you know, nice cement guard or something like that. No. It's one of those flimsy ass tin guardrails. 2 feet high. And you are driving right beside that fucker because those lanes are a lot narrower than North American lanes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's
You car wrong side of the road, and of course the way we're going up there, the car is on that side of the gorge. Like, we're not hugging the mountain, we're hugging this tin can of a barrier line. And I'm like, I'm gonna get somebody killed here. So, and this road is twisty, bet. Like, New Zealand roads are not like North American roads, because the Maori would literally go to war over you damaging their hillsides. So it is stapled on the side of a cliff, and it just twists all the way around. And they want you to go at, let me translate this for you.
45.
Uh, 62.
Jeez.
Yeah, they want you to go to 62 miles per hour on that fucker, and it's like, it's twisty as, and I think I didn't go any higher than 37.
Yeah. Gotta go with what you feel is safe.
Like, I'm gonna get somebody killed here. I never drove that road again. As it turns out, no one will drive that road again, because when the Kaikoura earthquake hit, multiple massive slips just buried the gorge. And so now everyone has to take the track.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were such big slips that they went, we can't repair this, we're just gonna close the road permanently.
I think I heard about that.
The Kaikoura earthquake?
I think it, yeah.
Yeah, I was in New Zealand for that.
Well, I think I heard about the road being closed.
That's the one. That would be the gorge. Fuck that road. It had no business being open in the first place. Like, New Zealand roads in general just don't understand the concept of a shoulder.
Yeah.
If there is a shoulder, it's about 2 inches wide. And that's only because they couldn't be arsed to put the paint that close to the edge.
Jeez.
Oh, here it is. Looking for my tablet pen. But yeah, like, good heavens. It was an experience.
I can very well imagine.
I love driving New Zealand, don't get me wrong, but that road was insane. Driving in New Zealand generally just made me happy.
Aspects watch over you.
I need to get my license.
You don't have it?
After the Dewey, I got my I got my license. I had the ignition interlock. I was working at the VA, and because of my insomnia, I was falling asleep at work.
Ooh,
So
yeah, that's
my boss sent me home. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go, you know, go home. I should be all right. I got to my off ramp. I fell asleep, slammed into the sideswiped. Oh, well, almost went headlong into the guardrail. Thankfully, I woke up in time because the rumbling on the road. I sideswiped the guardrail, and it was I don't know the year, but it was a Mitsubishi Lancer. So it's a unibody. So the body and the frame are all one piece. And
Is that what you were driving?
Yep. And since it was all one piece, the way I slammed against I sideswiped, it twisted the frame. So it totaled my car. And so I didn't drive for a few years. And so
getting a license.
Well, yeah, I had no reason to. I kept the car until my ignition interlock sentence was up. And then I was like, hey, can you guys come take this thing out of my car? And they're like, no, you have to take it to the shop. And I'm like, look, it's broken right now, so can you come pick it out of here? Yeah, as soon as, like, the same day they came and took the ignition interlock out, it was scrapped.
Yeah, fair.
And so yeah, I just never got my license or renewed my license, which was dumb on my part. I should have.
You don't have to.
Well, now I have to take the fucking test, which
What?
I had to go. Yeah, I haven't had my license that long. I have to go take the written and the practical test. And I'm like, yeah. So I took the test 3 times standing in the DMV in the same room, in the same
cane.
Yeah, in the same room that they're having people in, like, the initial, like, do their initial, like, registration for the DMV. So I'm not trying to be racist or any kind of discrimination against minorities, but I was in the same room with people who couldn't speak English. So they're asking things in Spanish. They have one moderator in there, and I was like, hey, can I put my headphones in so I don't have to, like, you guys are talking. I said I can't concentrate. Nope, can't put headphones in. Can't put earplugs in.
They give the vet who walks with a cane.
And I asked for that, and they're like, no, it's for people who are disabled. And I'm like, stare at my fucking cane. Well, no, you have to be in a wheelchair to use that one. Like, okay.
So the person in the wheelchair doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're sitting.
And I'm like, they can wait. I'm like, can I just have a fucking... Okay, so, yeah. No chair, standing there, and now I can't concentrate because I have...
3 languages in your ear.
Yeah. And so I took the test 3 times, failed all 3 times. And so they kick you out.
Jeez, that's rough.
Yeah. So that was the last time I went. Then COVID struck and nothing could be done. Now, hopefully they've gotten it together that they were working on a thing to let you take your written test from the comfort of your own home. I'm like, please, nice. Dear God, let me do that. It's not like so here's the thing is I know I'm pretty sure I know the answers. It's not like I have to look them up. Just let me fucking have some peace and quiet that I can freaking read the thing. And I also took the motorcycle driver's license test.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's like, hey, if you're on this kind of road with this kind of thing going on, do you go over here? Do you use this? And it's like you're trying to do that with mira, no speak English. Like, oh, bro, can you, like, it's like, come on, you have instructions on the screen in Spanish. So I need to get my license. I also need to get the what's called as a real ID. Apparently you cannot freaking travel without a real ID anymore. And I'm like, so what's the difference between a real ID and a fake ID? Or the ID that I've had for since I was 18. More information? I don't even know, because they want the same stuff that you want. You would want for a normal ID. They want your birth certificate and then 2 forms of like where you're living. I'm like, I thought it was supposed to be like a miniature passport from what I understood. So I'm like, you don't need my social security number?
I don't know.
I hate when places use your social security number as your ID number, like the military. Like, I can guarantee you some freaking dickhead sergeant's got my freaking my social security number just laying around his house, or he threw it out. Surprised I don't have more freaking fraud in my name.
More?
I've got, well, I haven't had direct fraud with like my social security number, but I have had like people spoof my my debit card. That was in Iraq. That was a fun one. Yeah. They're like, well, and my bank's like, well, you were close to where it was used. And I'm like, I'm in Taji, Iraq. It was used in Baghdad. That's like 60 miles, 70 miles away.
I'm now bet. You think they know geography?
Man. Well, and the sad thing is everything that I used it for was like Amazon American-based things. Nah, this was some freaking like Middle Eastern freaking porn. Some.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Stop. But it was paid through like it was paid through an American service, but it was like it was going from Baghdad through this paid service to Baghdad. Huh? No, that seems completely legit to me.
Oh no, it's totally fine. I don't know what you're on about.
Boop. I know. Man, hi. What do you want?
I'm thinking of things with hecked up geography understanding. My first GPS unit. My dad went to a trade show and he bought a GPS unit and he couldn't figure out how to get it working because, to be fair, the man was born in the 30s.
Right.
So he gave it to me. He's like, I'm never going to use this, and I can't give it back because that seller's long gone now. So here you go. That fucking thing. Whenever I turned it on, it would, first of all, it would take 16 minutes to connect to any satellites.
Jeez.
And in the meantime, it was absolutely dead certain that between when I had turned it off last in Edmonton, Alberta, which is just which is in the province north of Montana, for context, that in that time, in that maybe hour since I'd last turned it off, that I had traveled thousands of kilometers all the way across the country into fucking Quebec. Which is on the East Coast.
You didn't?
I didn't.
How dare you?
I didn't teleport to Quebec every time I turned on that GPS unit, but it was dead certain that I had done that. And 16 minutes later, it would connect to the satellites and go, "What do you mean you're in Edmonton, Alberta?" I go, "Well, fuck you too, buddy."
It looks like you're a little far away from where you were. Are you sure you're there?
Yeah, pretty much. the point when I used that GPS for a little while, it was you know, it was no TomTom, but you know, it was better than the one I didn't have. But the point where I turned that thing off and I decided you're done was the night it tried to kill me.
I'm sorry, what?
I was in a part of the city I was unfamiliar with, didn't quite know the area, so naturally I turned on the GPS. And I'm like, hey, get me home from here. So it's like, sure, no problem. After 16 minutes of connecting, it then tells me to turn right down a bike path and drive straight into the river. I go, okay, you're nuts, and I just, you know, go straight past that because I'm not doing that, as it turns out. So it then tells me turn left, turn left, turn left, then go straight down the bike path into the river. The third time of it doing that, I went, we're done here.
Yeah, jeez. That's insane.
Yeah, well, very early tech. This would have been, I don't know, maybe 2009, 2010. Early days of GPS.
I'm trying to think. When did I go to... I traveled from Texas to Virginia to go to for retraining or new training from Apache to Blackhawk, and I stopped off, like, I was planning on using MapQuest directions.
Oh, that brings me back.
Right. So I looked at it, I'm like, I could probably get there from here. You know, it showed me a route. It showed me a little map. I'm like, okay, I can use the map and kind of... My cousin was who had traveled across the United States. Was like, where's your McNally? Is it McNally? Where's your map? I'm like, I don't have one. I'm like, I don't need one. I got the instructions right here. He's like, no, you're an idiot. This is the same cousin I worked with him when I was but a youngster. We worked together for a company called Siemens Dematic.
That's a name?
Yeah, well, Siemens, like the tech company.
Mm-hmm.
They bought out a company called Rapistan conveyor company. And so they had the Dematic. And so we worked with that. So he was